house only got to live on this corner for one day before this high school kid comes and takes it from him. That was dope. I don't care about Cece's nonsense traveling.
Anyway, hey, have we seen the last of Gronk in New England? Because rumors are swirling that Bill Belichick is frustrated with the fact that his tight end hasn't been willing to fully commit to the Pats this season. Oh, but don't worry, because rumors are also swirling that Gronk is equally as frustrated with the strict confines of the Patriot way. No official word from either side, but it appears as if things could potentially be getting contentious in New England. Cece, could the Patriots really trade Gronkowski? Do you think that's something that's actually on the table?
Anyone's been following the Patriots through the years. No, anyone can be traded except Tom Brady. Like, we all know that. There's no one that Bill Belichick won't trade. I mean, anyone. Anyone in that organization, well, the Krafts, the Sons, and Brady.
The adopted son, Tom Brady, the one that Robert Kraft told you was another son of his.
Yes, that's it. Anyone else in New England, as we can see with the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, equipment guy, doctors, like all those people can go. And Belichick will get rid of most of them. But Gronk can be traded. But my thing is, I believe that Gronk, he has let this information get out there, but I believe Gronk is smart enough to realize that things would be different in his life without Tom Brady. So he doesn't necessarily like how they do things in New England, but he's also understanding that, wow, man, they come up with a great game plan for me week in, week out. They put me outside. They find the mismatches in every defense. So every game I'm in with New England, I got a chance to be a superstar, especially with TB12 throwing the ball to him. So, yes, Gronk might not be happy with the situation there. And New England, of course, they can trade. They'll trade anyone.
Right.
We've seen them trade some of their best players, and that's one of Bill Belichick's things that he does. He likes to get out of a relationship at the right time for him. When he feels like you might have a little more football left in you, but your interest has started to change, or I have to give you a new contract, that's when Belichick typically gets off of those players.
I think Rob Gronkowski would love to be a free agent. I don't know that he would love to be traded.
Well, he's not going to ever be a free agent.
Agreed. That's the point that Rob is unhappy in New England, or at least not as happy as he would like to be in New England. And if he could pick a team to go to, I'm sure he'd love to do that. But that's not the situation which he's in. He's got 2 years left on his contract. The Patriots would, if they wanted to,
at a reasonable number.
At a very reasonable number, which, by the way, I think you could argue might make him more likely to be traded, only because you have 2 years of a reasonable number for an excellent player. That is a more attractive asset. We talked about Odell being available, right? Odell, I believe, to be a better player than Rob Gronkowski. It's close, but I believe Odell's better. But if you trade for Odell, what comes with that is you have to instantly give him an enormous contract. Trade for Gronk, you got him for $8 million this year, $9 million next year. But there's an aspect to this that I think that people are forgetting or not considering, which is, what was the Patriots' major free agent loss this offseason? Nate Solder, their left tackle. When we talk about Rob Gronkowski, I mean, the highlights are obviously him wreaking havoc as a pass catcher. But what is one of the things everyone says about Rob Gronkowski? Absent of pass catching, the best blocking tight end in football. We also know how paramount Tom Brady's health is, particularly now that they have no backup plan at quarterback. Not that there was ever a great non-Tom Brady plan. How much are you willing to put Brady at risk? How much are you willing to put your running game at risk in the same offseason if you lose your best offensive lineman and your best down-the-line blocker in Rob Gronkowski? Like, there is an aspect to that. I know people will be like, last 2 years, 12-1 without Gronk. They're fine without Gronk. You go a little deeper into the actual football part of it. With the loss of Nate Solder, Gronk, to me, becomes more valuable than he had been.
I don't know if Rob Gronkowski is as tradable as we think he is, because he has gone away from the Patriot way more than any other player on that team. Things he said, the things he's done, the hit he had last year. I mean, if anyone has strayed from Bill Belichick's sort of, confining modes, I think it's been Rob Gronkowski, and there's never been an instance or a conversation we've had where he's been on the trading block in any way. You talk about this concept of all in. Is he all in on this team? What does that really mean? I mean,
no, he's not all in.
What does all in mean? I mean, what happens at this point in the season? We're in April. What does all in mean that Belichick would say, oh, this guy does want to be here or doesn't want to be here?
Well, the thing about Gronk has let the information get out that he's not happy with the way they do things, which is not surprising. I think it's hard to analyze football players in the offseason. Are they all in? It's the offseason. You don't have to be all in. You know, like, you really don't have to be all in. Gronk has never said he wanted to be traded. We're basically talking about, because Gronk's not happy, will Belichick potentially trade him?
Exactly.
Because he's not happy. All right? Now, Belichick getting this information, I'm sure he's not surprised by it. I'm sure New England is looking at every option available for him, but I don't believe that Gronk necessarily helped himself if he was traded by saying that he didn't like it in New England, because I believe that Gronk's injuries, because let's not, a lot of times people forget who you are. Like, when you get when you get his medical form, you're going to be like, wow, how much football does this guy have left? And if he doesn't like playing in New England, he doesn't like winning, wow, what's going to keep his attention in pro football after this one season? Like, I don't want to trade for Gronk and he's going to every year be like, is he going to retire or not? So I believe that Gronk, I believe it was his natural instinct to say, man, I'm questioning how long I want to do this. But in doing that, it's not going to endear him to a lot more teams than who would have been interested in Gronk's services.
And Gronk, I know people don't look at Gronk and say, that's a brilliant guy, but he's not a dumb person. And he knows where he plays and who he plays for. And he knows the implications when someone with his type of prominence and social media following goes on Instagram and Twitter. And it's one thing to congratulate Danny Amendola. It's another thing on Instagram and Twitter to say in all caps, you're free. He knows the reverberations that will have on shows like this, and most importantly, in New England. And he chose to do it anyway, and so we'll see how Belichick feels about it.
All right, let's talk some basketball on the other side. Coming up, are the Rockets in the driver's seat for the title? Next on First Things First. Good seat.